What's good, you guys? It's your boy Raheem the Dream, and thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Hood Dreams TV. On today's episode, you guys already know, you saw the thumbnail. So we are giving our recap on season 16, episode 1 of The Housewives of Atlanta. But if you're new to my channel, welcome, Jumbo. I'm so glad to have you here. Please make sure that you do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button, which is the like. Also share this video, and the most important thing, subscribe to my channel. So I'm definitely going to make sure that I stay on top of recapping this season. So far, I don't know how the season, if I'm going to like it or not, but I'll try my best if it doesn't bore me too badly to make sure that I give a recap of each episode. So let's go ahead and start off at the beginning of the episode. We start off with Shamea introducing herself, and we really don't need an introduction on Shamea because we know who she is. She's been on the show for many years. She just wasn't an official cast member. She's just always been a friend of the show through Portia. That's Portia's best friend. They grew up together in middle school and high school and stuff like that, and still best friends till this day. She's just talking about her lifestyle and her home. She says that her home is worth $9 million, and I forgot which year. I don't even know if she mentioned the year, but she said at a particular year, her home was the second most expensive home in the state of Georgia. So they got money. Let me see. But anyway, she reminds us that, she's a homie type of girl, and what I mean by that, she can hang with the top elites, but then she can also come down here with the regular folks and be a regular person as well. And she don't mind getting out there on the dance floor at the cookout and doing a little twerk or a little line dance with the family. You can tell that money has not changed her. She's still very much so down to earth as she's always been and still is. We also get to see her beautiful family, like her mom, dad, nephew, and I guess some other family members were visiting her. And you get to see her daughter, who she's grown up so much and looks exactly like her daddy. I mean, he literally spit her out. Looks just like her daddy. Let me see. And we also get to see Shamea's second baby, which a lot of people didn't even know she had a second baby. But the second baby she had was through surrogacy. From what I know, the second baby, has some type of issues. I don't know if it's autism or whatever. I don't want to misdiagnose her daughter, but she has some things going on. But thankfully, she has the right mom. She has money. She has connections. That baby's going to grow up with a beautiful life. God willing. God willing. She'll have a beautiful life despite any conditions that she has. Shamea also talks about how she met her husband at a club and he invited her over. She wasn't going to go, but her friends encouraged her to go, and she finally went. From there, when she went to his home, she said she had to go to the little girl's room, and she blew it up. I mean, she had an old nasty stank shit. So she shit in his bathroom, and I guess after that date, he invited her back. So, he didn't have a problem with her being a little stanky in the bathroom. And the next time, he had bought wipes for her to wipe. And I think everybody needs to have wipes, because in my home, we gonna have some wipes, because tissue just does not do it. I mean, it does it, but tissue, I feel like it does 75% of the work, but you need that wipe to come in right after the tissue to get, that last little bit. But so yeah, and the rest is history from there. They got married, all is well. And just overall, they gave Shamia a really long, I don't want to say a really long camera time, but she had a lot of camera time. I feel like she's like the breakout star, and pretty much this season, I feel like it's going to be centered around Shamia. I feel like she's going to have more camera time than everybody because they're already starting it off this way. But I'm not mad at that. Shamia is very interesting. Let me see. So next we go to a scene where Kenya is visiting Drew Sidora at Drew's home, and Kenya brings her daughter Brooklyn, and Brooklyn goes to play with Drew's kids, and that gives them some time to catch up. So Drew talks about how it is court ordered that while she and her husband still live in the same home, that he has to stay downstairs in the basement and Drew stays upstairs. Now, I don't feel bad about that agreement because these are rich people that we're talking about. This ain't the dungeon type of basement where it's all dark and cold and gloomy. This is like a fully renovated downstairs, top of the line lighting, all types of stuff. I'm pretty sure it's like a whole nother house downstairs in the basement. So I don't feel bad for that, and I think it actually works out great for the kids because most people that separate, they go and live in separate houses. Drew and Ralph, they decided that they're going to live in the same house, but one is going to stay upstairs and one is going to stay downstairs. And hey, if that works for you, that works for you. That's all I'm going to say about that. But Drew does say that she has to get permission before she's allowed to go down there. I'm not mad at that either. Let me see. And she also states that every first, third, and fifth weekend of the month, she has to leave the house for that weekend. She didn't explain why, but I'm pretty sure that, you know, the courts probably ordered that so that Ralph can come up from the basement and live, you know, at the top half of the house and have some type of freedom with him and the children. So I'm not mad that she has to leave every first, third, and fifth weekend. Go get you a hotel room or go get you a little condo somewhere, 1-bedroom condo, you know, for about $2,000 a month. You can do that. I'm pretty sure you spend that on just your weekly clothes allowance. So that's that. Don't feel bad about that. And on top of that, Drew talks about that they have a app where the two of them communicate. Her husband Ralph and her, they communicate on this app, and the courts, well, the judge monitors these conversations, and this is their only communication is through this app. They don't talk to each other otherwise. And she states that in this app, Drew does be talking to her mean. He be talking to her, I guess, reckless sometimes. But and she might feel like she might want to pop back off on him or say something crazy, but she refrains from doing so because she knows that a judge is seeing the entire conversation. The conversation is being monitored. So I don't even know why he feels comfortable enough to be popping off on her or saying anything mean to her, knowing that a judge can see everything that he's saying. But she's 100% correct to make sure that she keeps it cute in these conversations in this app, so that the judge doesn't, you know, think bad of her. So let me see. Next, Kenya and Drew, they sit down at the table just to catch up, and Drew talks about how she's been in 5 movies in the past year, and she's still actively working on music. And her music is real good. Let me just say, I subscribe to her YouTube channel and I listen to her music, every single song. I'm like, yes, Drew, you did that. You did that. Let me see. And she even mentions that with her music that she's going to be opening up for the artist Tank. Now that is huge. You can't just be out here singing oohs and ahs and think you're gonna open up for Tank. You have to have some type of talent, musical talent, to be able to open up for an artist like Tank. So that's real huge, and congratulations to her on that. But Drew then drops a huge bombshell on Kenya, stating that Portia's baby daddy, Dennis, has been helping her with her music. And when she said that, I was like, what? Dennis? What does he have to do with music? We're talking about the same Dennis, Portia baby daddy Dennis, the hot dog man, and has the girlfriends tattooed all over his skin. Every new girlfriend he gets, that's the same Dennis. Let me turn my hat back around. But yeah, you can tell Kenya was gagged. Let me see. But let me see. Kenya did ask Drew if that's the case, to where I guess Dennis now has any involvement in the music industry. Then why didn't he help Portia? Because if y'all remember at the earlier seasons of Atlanta Housewives, when Portia first came on, Candy tried to help her start a music career. And so Dennis came not too long after that. Excuse me, burping. Had a great lunch. But yeah, if that's the fact that he does music now or has any type of involvement with music, then why didn't he help Portia? I guess, I don't know, maybe at that point Portia was over music, or he really don't have too much involvement to do with music. I don't know, but Drew be lying. Y'all know how on Potomac they say, not my bae texting. Y'all know how they say on Potomac Housewives, Mia be lying. Drew also be lying. And Yandy from Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta and New York, Yandy be lying too. So them three ladies, they always go down in the history books for me for being liars. But you never know with Drew. Sometimes she's telling the truth. Sometimes she's lying. Sometimes she's telling the truth but exaggerating. I really don't know. But I'm for sure not going to Dennis when it comes to anything to do with music. And some of y'all might follow me on social media. Y'all know that I'm coming out with music myself. A lot of people don't even know that I sing, but I'm coming out with music, so stay tuned. And I'm going to showcase it on my reality TV show called 704 on my network, Dream Vision Network. That should be out for you guys, I want to say August 2025. Hold me to it. But let's get back to the topic. So we're talking about Dennis. So anyway, we jump to the new cast member, Kelly. I like Kelly. She's throwing her oldest daughter, Chloe, who looks exactly like her. I mean, Chloe literally, Kelly said, spit Chloe right out. Looks just like Chloe. I mean, looks just like Kelly. But she's throwing Chloe her 17th birthday party. And it's very nice and over the top. It's like tea inspired, sit down with a cup of tea. And she invited like their friends and, family members to the party. And since her daughter is 17, she gets to have 17 birthday gifts. And from what I can see, most of those gifts were purse after purse after purse. And I mean designer purse. I mean, yeah, just purse after purse after purse after purse. And her daughter was so excited. You can tell she gonna go to school and she gonna be stunting on them little hoes. She gonna be like, look what I got. Look what I got. But, yeah. Kelly also, my babe is just wearing my phone out. Gotta be on the break or something. Kelly is also known as the Waffle Queen because she has a waffle business as well as a waffle themed restaurant that's called Nana's Chicken and Waffles. She also has a syrup type of product that has 24 karat gold inside of the syrup, if I heard that correctly. I might have to go back and rewatch it, but I think I heard them say that she has gold inside of the syrup. Now that's fancy. And she also has a mimosa mix line. So I guess you pour the powder mimosa into whatever drink and you mix it and you have a mimosa. Anyway, Kelly is booked, busy, and paid. I'm not mad at that at all. And she also has cookbooks as well. So very much so paid, very much so busy. Kelly then is talking to her family members and she's explaining that she will be divorced within 2 months to her ex named Mark. She doesn't say the last name. She just says his last name is Mark, and that's all she gives us. She doesn't give us any more details about him, who he is, what he do, and I'm pretty sure it's because he does not want her to talk about him on the show. She's probably received some type of cease and desist or something. I don't want to say that's true, but I'm saying she probably received something like that, or he told her flat out, like, you can't say my name, you can't talk about me, you can't talk about what I do. And that's all the time we give him Mark. But let's see. Next, we jump to a scene with Portia where she's meeting at her attorney's office. And this is the same attorney that she hired to help with her first divorce to Cordell. And it was a lot to unpack in this one scene. She talks about how her current husband, Simon, that she's divorcing, doesn't want her to film in the marital home. And she says that he also wasn't completely upfront and honest with her about him not having a real green card and him trying to gain citizenship. As we know, Simon is not from the United States of America. He's from, I think, Nigeria, Africa, or something like that. However, when she said that he wasn't honest with her about his green card and citizenship, I immediately side-eyed her, because at the end of the day, you still married this man. And how did you marry him without knowing all of the details of his citizenship? And I'm pretty sure, because you are a public figure, that there were lawyers involved. And you even stated that you signed a prenup. So how did nobody, I mean, literally nobody, including the lawyers, how did nobody say, like, hold up, something's off about his citizenship, his green card is not right, it's not up to date? I really don't know, because I don't know about green cards. I've never traveled out of the country before. Yet. But I just feel like somebody should have caught that. And I actually feel like it was caught. I just feel like in this instance, Portia is lying, because sometimes Portia be lying too. We gonna have to add her to the Mia be lying, Yandy be lying, Drew be lying. Portia be lying too. And this ain't the first time. We have many examples of Portia being a liar. And I like me some Portia, love me some Portia, but she do be lying. But anyway, I just feel like that was a lie. Let me see. She also talked about how Simon used to do some scamming back in the day. And there was another like side eye that I gave her because I was like, why did you marry this man if you knew that he used to be a scammer? And maybe he didn't tell you at first. Maybe he told you after the fact that you was already married, which once you found that out, you should have immediately hit the divorce button, because this just is all sounding like a scam to me to get a green card, or I don't know. It's a very touchy subject. And she says that he wouldn't keep her up to date on their finances. And I feel like Portia just made a very stupid mistake. First of all, she shouldn't have never got with Simon, being that she wasn't friend with his ex, Fallon, who was on the season. But you literally, I don't want to say you stole him from her, because they were already separated. Now, the lawn people literally gonna come and get right outside of my window and start cutting the grass. How disrespectful. How disrespectful. Hopefully with this microphone y'all can't hear it. It is supposed to reduce background noise. So I apologize if you guys do hear it, but you shouldn't. But yeah, I'm just really in just disbelief and disappointed in Portia and her actions, because all the flags, all the red flags was there, all the signs was there. I feel like all she saw was, ooh, my best friend Shamia is married to a rich African. Let me get me a rich African to marry as well, and let me throw all of my morals and values down the drain to get what I want, and then it backfired on you. But anyway, that's all the time I'm giving that. So in the next scene, Shamia meets up with Kelly and Brittany, the new girls. And from first impressions, I see that Brittany is very materialistic. She keeps talking about her ring, I don't know if it's her wedding ring or her engagement ring, but she has a ring that she says was 7.5 carats. It's a solitaire ring that was 7.5 carats, and it got upgraded to 10 carats. And she's going to bring it up again later in the season to Kenya. And she mentions that she's an insurance agent, or at least used to be one. And with that, that position, she was invited to many upscale parties where she was able to meet a lot of people. But anyway, Brittany, Kelly, and Shamia, they're friends outside of this show. They're friends. And Shamia talks to them about her upcoming birthday party, and she lets them know that her best friend Portia will be attending the party. And you can, well, not you can tell, but at that point, Kelly says something to Shamia about she stole that girl's man. Talking about Fallon talking about Portia stealing her now husband that she's divorcing, Simon, from Fallon, who was a cast member on the Atlanta Housewives show. And so Shamia, she has to go back and forth with Brittany and Kelly, letting them know that Simon and Fallon were already separated. And the producers are shady because they did a timeline. It was, I think, like, they said it was like 18 days after, I think, Simon and Fallon reported their separation or their divorce. I don't think they were ever divorced, are they? I'm gonna have to do some research. But literally, it was 18 days after whatever came out about the end of Simon and Fallon's relationship that Portia announced her engagement to Simon. 18 days. That means you were talking to Simon while he was with her. And you don't get married or engaged to somebody in 18 days. I mean, you can. You can, but not smart people with money and people who know that they have to sign prenups before, to keep them protected. Portia, very calculated. She was talking to that man before he finished whatever business he had with his ex. I don't care what nobody says. She was talking to that man. Let me see. But Shamia, she was defending Portia to Kelly and to Brittany. And she explains to them to just get to know Portia on their own and not to be listening to the blogs and stuff. Which that's how you should live life anyway. Don't judge someone that you don't know personally. Wait to get to meet them in person and have an interaction with them before you give your final opinion on a person. Or before you decide that you just don't like a person. Let me see. And so also, they talk about how, there they go with that, with the lawn again, the grass. But they also bring up how Drew and her husband Ralph are coming to the party as well, or at least she invited both Drew and Ralph. And the girls bring up how they think that Drew is dating Portia's baby daddy, Dennis. And Shamia says also that she's heard things about it as well, and that she's heard stories about Drew and Dennis holding hands, walking down the street type stuff. So that's a whole mess. And I don't know how Drew doesn't know that this has been said about you, because Atlanta is very small. Let me see. Next. Let me see. Kelly talks about how Dennis used to be in her inbox complimenting her on her body and looks, saying stuff like, there's no way with that body you had 4 kids type of stuff. And Brittany says that she's actually been on an actual date with Dennis, and that he bought her a diamond necklace on their first date. But it didn't go anywhere. They never went on another date. They never had sex or anything like that. Let me see. Also, Brittany, she talks about how when she was back in high school, she used to do photo shoots for men's magazines. And I was like, skirt, what do you mean you were in high school shooting photo shoots for men's magazines? When I hear that, all I'm thinking is that, where was this baby's parents at? Because you had no business being a high schooler and showing your goods. But, unless you were 18, because I do know that there are some people in high school, mostly seniors, who turn 18 before their graduation date. So, it could have been that, but even at 18, I still feel like at 18, you're still a kid. Your parents still need to be telling you what you can and cannot do type of stuff, because at 18, you automatically assume I'm grown and I can do whatever I want. And at 18, she shouldn't have been taking no photo shoots for men's magazines. Now, if she wanted to go and do 17 magazine and those teenage magazines and stuff, go do those. But for a men's magazine, I'm sure all they're looking at is your cakes and your tits. But anyway, we jump to the next scene where Portia and Shamia, they meet up at a strip club. And that's crazy because Shamia, her first season on The Housewives, she did not like the strip club. She would not go to the strip club because she did not want to disrespect her husband. And strip clubs just were not her thing. But she is a strip club girly now. But they're meeting at the strip club and they're just catching up. And Shamia tells Portia that Simon texted her congratulating her on getting a peach, aka being casted as a cast member on the show. And she passes the phone to Portia so that she can read what Simon is saying to her. The only thing that Portia had to say negatively to Shamia is that she needs to stop calling him bro, because she's divorcing him. That's not your bro anymore. That's not your bro. And Shamia, she understood. And then Shamia also tells Portia that she met up with Kelly and Brittany and how they had so much to say about her, I guess, stealing Simon from his ex. And Portia was like, you know what? Now I'm not even interested in getting to know these girls. Keep them over there. 6 feet. Also, Shamia brings up the fact that the girls informed her that it's going through the city that Drew is dating, or at least talking to, Portia baby daddy Dennis. And Portia's mouth drops. You can tell she was like, what do you mean? So, let me see in my notes. Oh, so I think a real big reason for as to why Portia's mouth dropped and why she was acting like that is because Portia has been supportive of Drew, and they do a flashback to where Drew was at the reunion last season, and I guess she was getting ganged up on. And so she's doing a scene at the reunion where she's in her dressing room and she has Portia on the phone talking to her and encouraging her, I guess just not to let these bees F with you, and I guess just keep being you type stuff. And on top of that, Portia made Drew a brand ambassador for her company, Go Naked Hair. So I can understand why Portia is just like, not this bee that I got around me is potentially with my baby daddy. I get it, but I also don't get it, because if you thought it was okay for you to marry Simon after you know that your castmate was just with him and you went through with the marriage and you thought it was completely fine with it, then I don't see what the issue is with Drew talking to Dennis. And some people might say, well, it's not the same because Fallon and Portia, they weren't friends. And that's true. They were not friends. They were just cast members on a show. But I feel like the rule still applies. You knew this girl. You was in this girl's house. And when you found out that her relationship ended, you got with her man. Now, Portia, you do not want Dennis. I was about to say dentist. You do not want dentist. You do not want Dennis at all. So why you would feel some type of way about anybody being with your baby daddy is beyond me, because you don't want him. If you feel some type of way, get back with him. I think the world, we want you to get back with Dennis. I love y'all's relationship, and it sucks it didn't work out, but I felt like whatever y'all had going on was something that could have been worked out. You know what? Actually, I think there was cheating involved, which is why she left. So I scratched that. But still, you don't want him, so he can date whoever he want. And Drew, she ain't your bestie and nothing like that. But I do think it's kind of effed up that she's one of your brand ambassadors and she's potentially talking to him behind your back. But we don't know that for sure. I guess we'll find out a little later in the season. But in the next scene, Portia is getting ready for Shamia's birthday party, and she's in a chair getting her glam done, and she does a FaceTime call with Cynthia, and Cynthia is just checking on her to see how everything is going with the divorce from Simon, and she also brings up that Drew is getting a divorce as well. And at that point, Portia tells Cynthia that Drew has been getting a lot of support from Dennis. And when Portia says that, Cynthia, she gets up close on the phone like, wait, what? Like, what? What'd you say? What? That was crazy, because you can tell Cynthia was gagged. But anyway, so we jump to the next scene to where we're at Shamia's house, where everything is coming together for her birthday party, but she invites Kelly over before everyone else gets there so she can sit down and let Kelly know that Portia is her best friend, but she also acknowledges that she is friends with Kelly as well, and she wants Kelly to know that at their last sit down, when she and Brittany were talking about Portia stealing that girl's man, it made Shamia uncomfortable. And I understand, I would be too. And she just lets Kelly know that, hey, Portia's coming here tonight. If you have any questions, ask her directly. Don't talk about her to other people. Don't ask other people questions about Portia. If you want to know anything about Portia, you go directly to Portia and you ask her directly. And she was like, and basically, like, if y'all fall out to where y'all aren't friends anymore, or not because y'all aren't friends anyway, but if y'all fall out, just leave me out of it, because I'm friends with both of y'all. And I appreciate Shamia doing that, because that's what I would do if I was in between two friends. I would do the same. Let me see. Next, Cynthia and some of the guests start coming to Shamia's home, and Shamia does a green screen where the producers are asking her what it is that her husband does for his career. And she mentions that he works in HVAC, and building HVAC systems, and says that he's done some of the top HVAC systems in different places you can think of, such as like these big airports and big companies and stuff. So that's where his wealth comes from. And I didn't know that HVAC pays that much money. Maybe I was in the wrong career. Because let me tell you, you don't even have to go to school for years and years and years and years and years and years and years like a doctor or a lawyer to become an HVAC technician. I think that's probably something you can get just off a little 5-6 month learning class and get a certificate type thing. People, HVAC is the way to go. But next we are introduced to Angela, who is the wife of legendary NBA player Charles Oakley, who I must say, I've never heard of him before, ever. Now, I've heard of some Oakleys, but not Charles Oakley, and you can tell how much I live under a rock, because, well, in the sports world, because I don't watch sports. I'd rather be there in person. I'm not turning on my TV and watching people play sports. That's so boring. I'd rather watch some reality TV. Let me see. From what Angela says, Charles used to play on the Chicago Bulls as well as the New York Knicks. And I wonder if, when they say Chicago Bulls, because it said 1986 or something like that, I wonder if he was on the Bulls at the same time as Michael Jordan. Because when you think of Chicago Bulls, you automatically think of Michael Jordan. Excuse me. My lunch is coming up again. So I just really wonder if they were teammates on the team at the same time together, Michael Jordan and Charles. Let me see. But my first impression of Angela is that she's very pretty, but it looks like she may touch her face. And what I mean by that is plastic surgery. I can't tell if it was makeup or if it was real plastic surgery, but it looks like she's had a few things done to her face. The main thing that I can really look at and tell is the nose. Again, I don't know if it's makeup, because makeup can change your whole appearance, especially your nose shape and everything. But it looks like on her nose, she may have had a few nose jobs. And I can say the same thing about Kelly as well, because Kelly has a really tiny Jackson family type of nose. You know them Jacksons, how they all went and bought those tiny, tiny, tiny noses. But yeah, so that's my first impression of Angela. But again, she's still a beautiful woman, and she got her NBA legend. So, kudos to her. Let me see. And another thing that I noticed is that she was talking to her husband, and he made a comment about her having a lot of makeup on, which led me to wonder if he doesn't like her wearing a lot of makeup. Some guys don't like their women wearing makeup at all, or they just want them to wear just a little bit, but they don't like their women to have a full painted face. And if that's the case, that it's some you and your wife work out in your relationship. But there was just something to make note of. Anyway, so while the girls are chatting outside, Angela makes a comment about how hot it is, and you can see the sweat on her face. It's just so hot outside, and the sweat on her forehead and face all right here. And her wig starts lifting up, because y'all wig wearing girlies, y'all know when you sweat or get some water on that lace, it will start to lift up. And so her husband told her that she needs to go to the restroom so she can fix it, and she does. So next, Kenya comes to the party and is introduced to some of the new ladies. And we find out that Kenya is still not divorced yet. And I still don't know how she's not divorced yet. I could have swore I thought I heard something about her being divorced. Maybe I was wrong, but she says she is still not divorced yet. And I don't know how, because I feel like she filed for divorce like freaking 5 years ago or something like that. How is it 4 or 5 years later and you're still not divorced? I've seen people get divorced in less than a year. Ugh, I know she is over it. But lastly, Shamia comes out to her party wearing this beautiful blue dress. And I'm glad she chose not to wear white, because that was the theme of the party. Everybody had to wear white, and everybody looked amazing in their white, but she was wearing this blue, beautiful dress. And while she's outside, everyone's telling her happy birthday and everything. And then they go back inside. While they're inside, it's brought to her attention that she has a gift that she's about to receive that is outside. So they go back outside again. And her gift that she ends up receiving from her husband is a Rolls Royce Cullinan. And right after she pulls the sheet off the car to reveal what type of car she has, I want to say a few minutes later, Portia finally arrives to the party. There's no timeline of the show, but I'm assuming that she's at least 2 to 3 hours late. Assuming that she's 2 to 3 hours late. And she literally walks in as Shamia is looking at her new car as her birthday gift. And you can tell Shamia, she felt some type of way about it, because in her green screen, she throws fun little shade at Portia, and she just letting Portia know, like, baby, this is my moment right here. I need you to go on a step to the side over there to the left, because right now this is about me. We love that you came in and you did what's it called? You did I forgot what the entrance is called. You did an entrance, it was all eyes on you, but it's not about you. It's about me right now. So just go on and step over there. And then they go in the house, and Portia and Shamia, they go inside of Shamia's bathroom, and they shut the door. And Portia apologizes to Shamia about being late. Shamia, she kind of just sounds like nonchalant with it. She's just like, what else? What can we do about it now? There's nothing that can be done. But one thing that I do want to bring up, because this is my OCD talking, whoever was filming that scene of them in the bathroom, they got a glimpse of Shamia's bathroom countertop, where the sink is. A lot, and women especially women, but men do it too. Shamia's bathroom countertop, full of products. I mean, lotion, hair products, makeup, Listerine, toothpaste. I absolutely hate going to people's homes and seeing that they have stuff all over their bathroom countertop. Like, do you not have drawers underneath the sink or anywhere in the bathroom that you can put that makeup and toothbrush and make and all that stuff in? Do you not have cabinets underneath the sink that you can store that stuff under there? Do you not have a linen closet or a towel closet in your bathroom to where you can clean all of this shit up off of your countertop and hide it? You still have access to it if you pull a drawer out or go underneath or go in the closet. You still can get it, but it's just not seen. You know what I'm saying? My OCD, I cannot have anything on the freaking countertops. It drives me crazy. I start itching. I start sweating. It's so ugly, and should, let some things be a mystery. Let me see. They come out of the bathroom. Shamia has changed her outfit. She's done an outfit change. And the girls are downstairs chatting about Portia being late. And Kelly brings up how she made a comment about Portia stealing Simon. And at that point, Portia walks up to the group while they're talking about it. And Kenya goes, "Hey! Hey, girl!" And I thought that was actually really refreshing because real OG fans of the show know that Kenya and Portia, they've had a very tumultuous relationship. Like, for the most part, they've always hated each other. But, they kind of started liking each other after they both had children around the same time. And they got closer that way. And as y'all know, Portia went to jail behind putting her hands on Kenya. So just to see where they are today and they're being, "Hey girl, what's up, boo?" type of, encounters amongst the two of them, that is so refreshing to me. And I hope it stays like that. Let me see. Okay, so Portia sits down and they're talking about, "Oh, we were just talking about you." And Kelly was talking about, we were talking about how I said that you stole that girl's man from him. And at that point, Portia was like, "I don't want nothing else to do with you. I don't want to talk to you. It's done." But it starts getting really loud downstairs because, of course, there's other guests in the room. And the group, they ask, "Is there somewhere else we can go where we can talk where it's more quiet?" And so Shamia takes them upstairs on her elevator to another room that is away from everybody else so that they can have a conversation without all the background noise. And this is where the episode comes to an end. But right before it does, they talk about Drew's birthday party and how no one got invited to Drew's birthday party except for Portia's baby daddy, Dennis. So they was like, "I didn't get invited. You didn't get invited. You didn't get invited." Oh, but Dennis, he got invited. And so Drew, she was like, "Oh, my assistant was in charge of inviting everybody, yada, yada, yada. But my assistant didn't invite y'all for whatever reason. She forgot to do so. He or she forgot to do so." But they was like, "But he or she invited Dennis." And so Shamia, she flats out says to Drew, "So we just want to know, are you dating Drew? Are you dating Dennis?" And that's when the "to be continued" pops up on the screen. So next week, there's going to be a continuation of this scene, and we can't wait to see how it's going to go, because we know Portia is going to feel some type of way. She's going to be like, "You a low down dirty hoe," and yada, yada, yada. So I will be recapping that episode as well. But this was my recap on season 16, episode 1 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Overall, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this season or not. I hope I really do. But what I can say, it's been a lot of changes as far as the editing goes, as far as the green screen goes, even the chairs that they sit in, like the green screen, it's off. It doesn't match up with the chairs. And in some of the confessionals, it looks like the chair is like floating off the ground. Like you can tell these are all new editors. And I don't think that it was for the better. But I'm glad that they're giving us something anyway. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. But until the next episode recap, it is your boy Raheem the Dream. And if you enjoyed my recap, please make sure that you hit the thumbs up. Also, make sure that you share this video to your social media with all of your friends and family. And just please subscribe to my channel. But until the next video, again, it's your boy Raheem the Dream, and thank you so much for watching another episode of Hood Dreams TV. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Anymore. So take it.